How do you cut out the jet lag?
It was a struggle.
You can't deal with it. You just have to accept it. And the longer the trip, the more your body becomes fatigued, and eventually your body just shuts down, which is why we have safety limits and duty limits where our trip can last so long. Our body is operating off of adrenaline during critical phases of flight, despite that we're completely drained and fatigued. Well, there's been many studies with the FAA as far as fatigue and jet lag and changing our circadian rhythm. That comes down to it is you're not thinking clear. You're tired. You're at the end of a flight during one of the most critical phases that is at risk to not only your passengers, but people on the ground. And that's when you need to be at the top of your game.
Well, I heard about it through my dentist.
I was living in Asia and I would commute into Austin where my dentist was to see him. And I have a high anxiety dentist to begin with. And he knew that. I just got off a 22-hour flight and my mind's racing. I have many things to do. I'm only in town for 2 days before I fly back out to Asia. Well, he just said, put on some music and relax. Let me do my job. I had no idea what he was doing to me. As I sat there, I just felt like a light switch. I was completely calm. And at the end of the procedure, I just wanted to chill the rest of the day. I wasn't stressed. I wasn't in this mode where go, 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 and get everything done. I said, what just happened to me? I was shocked that I can go from a high-stressed feeling to just being very low-key and calm. And I immediately thought, we could use this in flight. The flights I do are multi-crew, where we change out during flight because they're so long. And the hardest thing to do is to go from flying an aircraft to go on the back and try to get 3 or 4 hours of sleep to go right back there and do it again. Our flights are up to 12 hours long. With the NuCalm, we're able to bring that stress level, that anxiety down and relax. That way, when we go back up there to complete the descent and approach of one of the critical phases of flight, our mind is clear. I initially didn't tell anybody. I said, well, let me just try this the first few flights, and I was amazed that it worked. And when I gave it to my colleagues to use, they were sold. They were like, wow, this is amazing. With NuCalm, you're able to just come down to a level and relax and be stress-free. I think it's a safety issue. I think that this should be in every long-range cockpit. There's a lot of skepticism, especially in that level. And, the suits of the airlines, it's a cost factor, and their job is to keep costs down low. When you add this into it, it's going to increase their cost. So it has to be sold on a safety aspect because it's going to keep the passengers and everyone safe. I like using NuCalm on the longer flights because it reduces my fatigue level and my mind is clear when it needs to be in the most critical phase of flights. Normally when I come home, it would take me a minimum of 3 days to recover. I would sleep in the middle of the day, I would be up in the middle of the night, and I would get sick fairly easily. I was immune to any kind of sniffle. I knew that my immune system was low. I would instantly be sick. I've noticed that in the last 2 years, I haven't been sick. And when I go home from a trip, I'm recovered within the day. Jet lag is completely eliminated for me. I can instantly go right in as a normal person that hasn't crossed 12 time zones over the last 7 days and live a normal life. When you're not crossing time zones, you're not tired, you get to a new destination, you want to go out and have a nice dinner and see the area. When you're so tired and fatigued, the last thing you want to do is go out. So you just go to bed and the last thing you hear from them is slam flick until you see them for the next duty day. That's what they are to me. When I get to a new city, even if I fly from LA to Sydney, our normal flights would leave at 10 o'clock at night. We would land at 6 in the morning in Sydney. If I've used NuCalm on the flight, I'll use it for 30, 45 minutes in the morning when I get to Sydney. And then I'm up the rest of the day. I'm going out, I'm going to the Opera House, I'm going to see the bridge. It's great. My colleagues, they're sleeping all day. I'm coming back when they're kind of waking up. They're up the entire night, and I'm going to sleep at a normal time. Every airport that has a major airline base has a crew lounge. Yeah, American has their lounge, Delta, Southwest. And it's kind of a place where the crew can get away from the public, relax, and rest. If we had these NuCalm kits in there, there's recliners where they just sit back, relax. They can put on NuCalm for 20, 30 minutes right before their flight, and they're fresh, ready to go. absolutely would make sense. Well, normally you would have about 3 hours of crew rest, and the first 2 hours is just tossing and turning, and your adrenaline's up, so you can't just shut down. So at a point, normally after about 2 hours, you're just so drained and fatigued that your body shuts down, but you're not getting the rest that you need. It's not the same type of rest that actually helps your body recover. By the time you're in a deep enough sleep, your 3 hours is up, the flight attendant's waking you up, and it's time to go back to the cockpit. Now I immediately put NuCalm on. Within 15 minutes, I'm completely relaxed. Within a half hour, I'm in a deep sleep. Now, my mind is clear. I get up there and I instantly know what's going on. I'm not fatigued, I'm not tired, and it's like I just woke up. I'm fresh.
You know better than I that there are a lot of people who have a fear of flying. Do you see any application for something like a NuCalm system to help in overcome that fear?
Well, absolutely. I experienced it when I went to the dentist. I have a fear of dentistry. And when I used it, I was completely calm, relaxed. I see people every day that fear flight. I feel that if they were able to use NuCalm, it would take their mind off it. They would be relaxed, and their level of fear would come down significantly.